Was it just
We are ready when you are.
We're good? All right, apologize for being late. We'll go ahead and call our special meeting of the Wayne County Board of Education to order. It is 4:01, and if you'll stand, we'll say the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, let the record show that all board members are present in person this evening. And we can begin with our local school improvement council presentation by CK Thomas.
All yours.
All right, I'm ready. Good evening. Welcome to CK Elementary. We're glad to have each one of you. We're going to go ahead and get started. I know this year we have new questions, so we had to adjust some things. The first thing on here was what is the chronically absent rate for the last 3 years and what is the current rate. So we put a little chart on there for you. You can see that we have continually lowered that number over the past 4 years. And some of the girls up here, and I'll introduce everybody here in a minute, will go over more detail with that. Also, I put the second box is the one that the county sent to us. And you can see based on last year to this time this year on each of those dates, you can see that we were in the green on all of those. So that's something we're working on. And we'll let some of them up here go over that with you. So at this time, I want to have Ms. Trader, our assistant principal, Sheena Perry, our community in schools, talk to you a little bit about that. And then Ms. Mannon's going to talk to you a little bit about question 3.
Good evening. Mrs. Perry and I, we look at students who are having a pattern of lots of absences. So at the beginning of the year, you know, they might have been out on vacation or something like that. We don't look at those as much as the ones that, you know, have chronic, we don't know where they are. So we have meetings with those parents, and a lot of times we find out that there are bus issues. The student lives far from the bus stop. Parent has a baby at home and can't get them to the bus stop. There's medical issues that we've uncovered that we didn't know about. And then we offer them incentives. We try to get them in school. So we do this for our tardies as well. So we have lots that just come in tardy every day. So we try to make this a friendly place for them, and that's where Ms. Sheena comes in.
So the communities and schools, of course, my main objective is chronic absences. So I greet the kids in the morning, and I've got a few students that I personally walk up each morning, make sure they get to class, and I come in at lunchtime and talk to all the students, just walk around. I'll pick certain students that I feel I haven't engaged with enough maybe and get to know them a little better. At the end of the day, I stay out in the hallway and excuse me, and, you know, tell them have a good day. We'll see you tomorrow. Always tell them see you tomorrow. That way, you know, they know we're looking for them. Some of the other things I do with communities and schools is, of course, the food pantry, the clothing closet, hygiene. So I have kids randomly throughout the day. They're hungry. They come down, get snacks. We had a food drive for when the SNAP benefits went away. We collected 3,400 items. All of our SNAP Pack kids were able to come down and shop for that. So those are just other ways that we're getting them here, because we're providing them with food. We're providing them, with clothes if they need it. I order clothes a lot from Walmart for the students. So just engaging with them and making sure that they know that they're loved, and we have resources for them here. So if you go throughout the facility, I encourage you to go into my room, my office, and see all the stuff that we have to provide for the students.
Okay, Ms. Mannon's going to talk to you about some of the attendance incentives that we do.
Good evening. How are you all?
Good.
You know that I tell you all this every year, but we've been doing some different things this year. You can see on the page at the top, I think some of the different things we've been doing. On A, the little paragraph right here is a thing you all put out, I think, one year, and I loved it. So I keep it every year, and I even have it on my door. The habits that they start in elementary are the ones that are going to keep with them their entire life, like being on time, doing things. Those are things we want to instill in them now. So that's something I like to get with them and do it. Now, you know that I call parents daily. I did that today, and I like to let parents know that I miss their child. I say, give them a hug, tell them I miss them, and I hope I see them tomorrow, or that they'll feel better, or whatever. I want to make that contact with the parent. If you can make that contact with the parent, they're more apt to call, let you know what something's going on or something. I think it's very important for a school to have contact with their parents. The next thing on the list is celebrating attendance. I love to celebrate, and this year we're celebrating a lot of attendance. So every Friday before I go home, I do a report on every classroom about what their percentage of attendance is. And then Sunday night, I sit down, and whoever has the top attendance, they get this bag in their box. They're going to have some crazy stickers from Amazon telling them they snailed it, or they did a well of a job, or do not give up, okay? They get all kinds of stuff. And then I go to Amazon and I get dye-free candy. And I get the things that they can have that are approved by the county. So they get a treat for their good attendance. And Ms. Farley always announces which class got the top attendance in the grade. And every grade level has a winner for the week. And every morning, we say which class, we do shout outs and have which class had no tardies and no absences. And then at the end of the month, these little things right here, we have every grade level has their own particular trophy that Ms. Trader makes. She says she's not as talented this year. And so we take this around, so whichever classroom had the best percentage of attendance, they get to hang this by their door for the month. So we're doing a lot with attendance this year. Now in March, we're going to do something called March Tardy Madness. And we did this when we were on the trailers, I call it trailer board, on the football field. But since it's March Tardy Madness, we do a 10 dance. We're going to do a 10-second dance the next morning after every classroom that has no tardies. We're going to come out just for 10 seconds. We're going to play music and do a little 10-second dance on that morning. Then on the end of the week, we're going to see which classrooms, each grade level, had the most no tardies. And they'll get like a little basketball pencil or some little something to do with basketball. And then at the end of the month, we're going to have shootouts for the classrooms in each grade level that had that. So we're going to try to get them, I want them to think about during March, getting our attendance back up to 96. If they can get it back up to 96, because it went down to 93 in January, I want to try to work on getting it back up to 96, because they know what our goal is. So that's what we're doing for attendance, and I'm really proud of it. And I keep your email that you sent us in my file, and I look at it every Sunday night when I'm in these papers.
Yes, we appreciated that email when you saw how well we were doing with attendance, and everybody up here works on that.
Yeah, the chronic absence rate at 14%. We tell schools that if you're down in the teens, you are doing really well.
Right.
14% is with a student population this large is fantastic.
Yeah.
Thank you, we work on it.
Yeah, and to hear you say we went down to 93%, I'm thinking there's some schools that can't get to 93%, so that's impressive. And by
This
the
car
way,
right here is walking the bus. Yeah.
oh, is there, that's probably me.
Sorry, our after-school dismisses at 4:30.
My fault.
If you can just pull up a little bit, I'm sure you can get around you.
Just go ahead, I'll do
That one lane gets us sometimes.
I got you.
See if you can get around Dennis.
You don't want the rest of the bus drive.
Yeah, absolutely. You want me to wait or keep moving?
Yeah, he's going around.
Oh, he's going, we're good.
Yeah.
Yay, we're good. You're fine. If he can get around you, the cars can.
He
You're
did
good.
go around.
Yeah, you are good to go. You're fine.
It's causing all kinds of problems today.
Okay, we're gonna move to number 3. What are the enrollment numbers for the last 3 years and what is the current enrollment? When we built here, which this is our 9th year, we were at they built the school for 605 and we've continually gone up since then. You can see there 639, 637, 632, 621. We are very transient here. I think it's our location where we're, close to everything. And we do fluctuate. That number can go anywhere from 615 to 630 within a short amount of time. But that's where we're at. We stay in those numbers in that area. If you want to turn over to the next page, this is our most current data from the spring, and then our fall to winter benchmarks for this school year on there. At the top, you can see from last year, anything that's highlighted is growth or above the state and the district. So I'm not going to read through that for you, but I did highlight everything that was growth or over the state and district. So we do know we had a few areas that we needed to look at, certain groups that we needed to look at, and those have been addressed this year with co-teaching and intervention and those types of things. On A there, we mentioned that we had 37 students that exceeded standards in one subject and 31 that did it in both. So there were 99 total exceed standards on the fall or on the spring summative test. So, and all of our growth from fall to winter was in double digits. So we were proud of that on the CACI winter benchmark. The next 2 pages are just the last couple of years. I won't read through that either for you, but you can see the growth. Everything that's highlighted is growth or above state and district. So I feel comfortable that we are always working toward our goal, that we are always striving to have the very best test scores in the county. That's always my goal. We work very hard at everything to raise scores. We look at data consistently. We go over a lot of things to try to raise everybody's scores individually. Let's see here. Okay. Over on the page that has number 5, they want to know what is the school doing to raise proficiency rates, specifically as it relates to collaboration. And I hope you can tell by as many people as we have up here that we often collaborate. We have several teams. We're always working together to do our very best and be the best for our students. The first thing that we do for looking at raising rates is our intervention group. We have 3 part-time and 2 full-time. The first one we'll hear from is our 2 third grade interventionists, Holly Purdue and Grace Thompson. I want to tell you a little bit about what they're doing in 3rd grade.
Okay, so we first want to talk about our schedule. So we both have very different schedules in the morning. So in the morning, we're both doing push-in, kind of. So I start out my day in subjects room. So that is like small group. You're walking around, you're helping out where you're needed. So from 7:45 to 9:15, I'm starting there. And then after that, I go to my other room, which is Haffer, and that's from 9:15 to 10:45. We all have a collaborative planning with the whole 3rd grade team. That's 11:15 to 12. We collaborate with classroom teachers daily to determine the following week's plans for reading and math so we can align our instruction with theirs. In the afternoon, we do pullouts. I have from 12:30 to 1 is an ELA pullout block. And then from 1 to 1:30 is math pullout, and it's co-taught with Ms. Thompson right here. And then last part of our day is from 1:30 to 2, we writing support push-in, and that's in those classes we work in wherever we're needed. And then I'll let you talk about what you do.
Now my schedule looks a little bit different because I work with Elkins and Kirkpatrick. I start off in the morning by pulling for phonics intervention and fluency. And then I do my push-ins for reading for both Kirkpatrick and Elkins room. And then after lunch, I do another reading pull-out with Allie Elkins for fluency. And then I do math with Holly, where we teach together. And then the last part of my day is writing intervention time with my kids.
So what do we do in intervention? This includes phonics instruction, fluency in reading, short passages, and book studies with comprehension questions. We use the Carnegie Math practice book pages. Usually we go off whatever the teacher is teaching in class that day. We'll pull that practice book page and revisit that. We practice for the general summative assessment using the test authoring, and that's in both math and reading. We do multiplication, bell ringers, and for writing, we use the general summative assessment. Writing, like online, we'll pull out that and have them read the things and write about it. So data, there is a total of 20 to 22 students who are being pulled for services, and it varies between reading and math. All students have made progress from the fall to winter on the benchmark in reading and math, and all students have made progress from fall to winter on our STAR assessment in reading and math. So for STAR reading fall, we had 10 students in red, 5 students in yellow, 3 students in blue, and 0 in green. This recent winter benchmark, we have 1 student in red for reading, 6 students in yellow, and 5 students in blue. For STAR math in the fall, we had 10 students in red, 3 students in yellow, 1 in blue, 0 in green. STAR math for winter, we have 3 students in red, 4 students in yellow, and 1 student in blue. And then for benchmark in reading for fall, we had 19 that did not meet standard. Now for the winter benchmark, we have 11 that don't meet standards, 7 partially meet standards, and 1 meet standards. For benchmark fall, there are 21 that did not meet standards. Now there is 11 for the winter benchmark, 11 do not meet standards, 8 partially meet standard, and 2 meet standards. So for reading intervention, we've had 5 tests out. For math intervention, we've had 7 tests out. Some of our students could potentially test out, but due to issues with their attendance, we haven't got the chance. But with all our snow days and everything, we're really trying to get them moved. And then some students remain in intervention because of teacher input based on students' classroom performance. Because some of our kids, they really just need the extra attention. So we really just pull where we're needed. That's all we got.
Very good. Thank you.
And I just want to brag on them. They are both first-year teachers, and they've done an excellent job with third-grade intervention, so I'm very proud of them. Excellent job, and they've worked very hard to raise these scores. Next is Ms. Harrison. She is one of our part-time interventionists and also our SAT leader.
Well, part-time intervention does many of the things that they do, but we do reading. We work kindergarten through 5th. We have 3 part-time interventionists, and we service 120 active students right now. And some of these students are, severe, but they need more time. So some of them even come twice a day. Like some will see me, and then they'll see another one. Just like I'll maybe work on comprehension, they'll work on fluency. So, we're always, this is a moving group, because sometimes once they have a skill, they go back, they're exited, and then they have another skill that comes up and they're not, secure, and then we'll pull them again. So it is kind of a moving group, but right now we have 120 active students. 15 students have tested completely out of intervention this school year. On our benchmark data, I just kind of put together, we had 108 of the 120 active students showed an increased score on their STAR benchmark. So everyone, those students all increased, 108. 15 students, like I said, have been released for increasing. And then 12 students that did not increase, their scores, one flatline, kind of flatline. The 3 of the students qualified for special ed, they need special services, and then 2 others are at this time being in the testing process. So we actually pull a few students that do have an IEP, and we've seen some gains with those students in their STAR benchmark too. One thing that we think that we may need to is like some math intervention. I come in early and I take a couple kids that we just do the reading and for the part-time. I come in early because there's about 3 or 4 kids in 4th grade that still can't add, subtract, they're just really struggling. I come in at 7:30 and I take a group just to work with them, just because I think, we got to get them up. They've got to learn that. So that's basically what we do. Bev, do you have anything that you need to add?
I think you've covered everything, but we've had some really great success stories.
Oh, yes.
We had one little fella that was, he had been in maybe 13 foster homes.
Yes.
When he came here in the 2nd grade, couldn't read, he was just a mess. And now on his he's in 5th grade now, and on his last winter, test, he scored, mastery.
Yeah.
I mean, he probably doesn't need to be in intervention anymore, but I can't kick him out.
And that student she's talking about, when he came, we had a problem just keeping him in the classroom. I mean, he would run. I was doing intervention full-time at that time. And I can remember us all going down the hall trying to grab him before he ran out of the building. So he has come leaps and bounds. And sometimes those kids just need a person that believes in them and works with them. And that's what we do too. I mean, we tell these kids they can, they're going to be successful. We're going to do it. We work hard. We strive hard. They're working hard every day, and so is Bev and Karen and myself, and these girls have done wonders. My granddaughter's in one of their classes, and she just loves her. She's come a long way. Do you want me to join the SAT? Okay. I'm also the SAT leader. I retired and come back, and here I am. This year do you want to say anything?
No, you go ahead.
Okay.
Finish up.
Okay, this year, we were very fortunate. They allowed me to take 6 hours a week and do the SAT. A school this size is a tremendous job. I did it when I was full-time interventionist, and it overtakes intervention. I mean, it did, because there's so many students. Right now, and this is probably a little bit lower than it has been in the past, but right now I have 63 active students in SAT. And 10 students have exited SAT. We think they were ready to move on. But what SAT is what we are, just so I think you probably all know, but we're just, we address the students' needs, okay? There's students that have struggles. It can be academics, behaviors, social, emotional, attendance, which they take care of that one. We can support students who have failed visions or hearing tests. And then we also do gifted, which is another thing. And then any needs that are impacting their education, we come together as a team and we try to find a solution to what's going to help these kids be successful. We have a team that's usually at least 4 people, 3 to 4. We have to have 3, and it can be an administrator or a designee, which would be a SAT person, current teachers, and any other appropriate, like a psychologist, counselors, all kinds of, anybody that would, she has been in there with us before. So we're just a team to help them. But right now I have 63. And the concern that I have as being a teacher, I've taught forever. And last year I had a co-teacher. Well, the co-teacher is a special ed teacher. And that's kind of why this was exciting to me, because she did the SAT. I'll hurry, I promise. She did the SAT, and she had to be pulled all the time. For one, my concern was, are the special ed kids getting all their minutes in? Which we worked it, we got them in. But are the kids, and then the support I needed when I had, what did I have last year, 7 or 8 special ed students, full-time special ed students in the room, plus my regular students, and I'm trying to do writing, and then she's pulled out. And that's difficult. I hate to see, co-teaching can really, really work. We have a great success this year because she doesn't have to be pulled out. I worry about classroom teachers being pulled out. So what I figured out, meetings have to be held every 45 days. 63 students at 30 minutes per meeting is 1,890 minutes. That is 31.5 hours every 45 days. So that happens about 4 times a year, sometimes more for some students. So that's 126 hours that a teacher or a special ed teacher is pulled from the classroom. That concerns me as a teacher because we need all the support we can have in the class, and those kids need everyone in the class that they can. So, and then also, usually if a teacher does it, they get some kind of comp time, like an extra planning or something, to make up that time, because it is time consuming. Trust me, the 6 hours a week, this week I have 12 hours of SAT meetings. So, I mean, it kind of balances out, but it's a lot. And then if a student is referred for special ed, we have to have another meeting with the psychologist, and that doesn't even account for that. We've had 16 meetings this year, so that's another 8 hours out of class. Plus all the time that it takes to get the paperwork to the teachers, and I usually meet with the teachers and say, hey, is this kid really needing this? We talk a lot. I mean, I'm sure everybody here can attest to that. I maybe go above and beyond, but I'm worried about the kid. I want the kid to get the services they need. And I think when you have one person geared on that, and Kim Kell will probably also tell you, it is so nice that we know what's going on with that kid and what's, what that child needs. And we're working as a team and able to do it. When you're a classroom teacher, you have enough burdens on you. This is just one more that they really don't need. So I'm hoping they consider to do this again next year, because I think it's very successful for our school.
I have to say that Brenda has done a fabulous job this year with the SAC program. I mean, she stays on top of it. She really does.
And I think the whole point is that it's a large job, and a larger school, of course.
It's a big job.
It's a big job, and that's something here in a minute I'll talk to you about and kind of explain some of the things on the last page. But we've got one more speaker, Ms. Webb, our counselor, and then I'll go over a few more things.
So I've got some data for you on a separate handout, just kind of explaining what my role looks like here. Our enrollment right now is around 620 to one counselor. So very busy. So far this school year, I've taught 109 counseling lessons that align with our West Virginia student success standards that we're required to teach by law. And then I run 18 small counseling groups that rotate and just go all year long. And then sometimes I'll have other groups, maybe that need to focus on social skills or whatever as time allows. And I'm able to collaborate with teachers. But you can see we've got a pretty good percentage of third, fourth, and fifth grade that actually love to come to group and talk about mental health. And it's pretty exciting for me as a school counselor to get to see that. And also it helps them have like a sense of belonging. They look forward to it. And then the last one, tier 3, you can see just this school year for one-on-one sessions, I've had 123 different individuals out of that 620 for a total of 397 sessions. So we do our very best. We collaborate as a team. But we have a lot of needs. We have a lot of students with high ACEs, adverse childhood experiences, which if you're going to measure trauma, that would be a good way to do it. A lot of foster kids, a lot of disabilities. A lot of times we're the first to kind of uncover whatever that issue is. And as we do find those answers, it helps with attendance as well, because the students' needs are getting met. They feel more comfortable coming to school when we're able to identify those things. That's pretty much all I've got. Questions?
Thank you.
School counseling?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Webb. Ms. Travis, I'm going to talk to you about this.
I want to talk to you about our suspensions for the year. So we do not like to suspend. Let me just say that first. There are occasions when it's necessary. So this year so far, we've had 6 students suspended total. 3 of those students were just for one day. The other 3 were multiple incidents. So one of those, well, they've all had at least 6 days. Most of the time when we do have to suspend, especially for more than one day, we are working on a plan while they're not here. So when they come back, we're gonna make this change or this change, or we need time to pull that together usually. So also we do not suspend unless it's a level 3 or a level 4 offense. So they made a threat, they hit somebody, it's something that is a safety issue. This big, or with just 6 students being suspended so far, we try to keep that under wraps, and we also use Educator's Handbook, which is an online thing where teachers can can put their what am I trying to say? Referrals in, or just make the documentation. That's what I was trying to think. So they can just document whatever they want in Educator's Handbook, and then if it becomes a problem, that's chronic, then we would look at that again. But if it's a student who is being suspended, they're in the office, we're involved way before that. Okay.
Our question number 7 was, what supports are needed from the board to address these items? The first one, and that's what Ms. Harrison was talking about, was SAT staff or monies to support that, because it does take a lot of time. Where she's a part-time interventionist, she can come in on a different day and do SAT, so that has really been beneficial to us. Again, being next to Spring Valley, the largest school, we do have a huge staff situation, or SAT situation, not staff situation. Yeah, we may have that too, I don't know. But we appreciate that very much. That's been very helpful, and not to have to pull anybody else out of the classroom. The second one is a consideration of a special ed teacher. The position was cut last year. This year, we feel like we are maxed. We have adjusted schedule all year, but we have several students getting ready to qualify that have been, in SAT and in intervention and looking at all of that. And so we know, after talking to Kim Kell, that we are going to have more qualify. We usually have 8 to 10 pre-K that qualify, which would be going into kindergarten next year with IEPs. So we are at that point right now where that we're getting full, so on numbers, and we've changed schedules so that would be considered. That would be great. Keeping our CIS support staff. Sheena is our community in schools. I know this is the end of the 3rd year, so I don't know where you all are moving with that, but she is a huge support for our school, for our students. So we wanted to ask that position be kept if possible, because what it gives to our students. Keeping our intervention position that are servicing almost 150 students. So out between our 3rd grade interventionists and our part-time, we're almost 150 students being served each week. And you can see the growth in the test scores by looking at some of that stuff I provided you there. I know this may be way off, but math intervention is needed. Our math scores often are always a tad bit higher than our reading scores, but Frankie and I like math, don't we? Yes. We would really like you to consider looking at, just a math interventionist separate from the reading. Another thing, which is a good thing, but it's also a reason why we're looking at the Wonder Dome. I need, if possible, some dividers for our media center, because I'm going to need to put some classrooms in there next year, and divide those up for our interventionists and possibly special ed. Because of the way our numbers fluctuate and that type of thing. And we've been where people have had to share rooms since day one. We've been kind of at that point, but those dividers that we already use in the media center gives Bev her own classroom in there. Karen Hefner has a classroom, and Brenda, we made hers this year, but we're probably gonna have to add a couple more. So, and I can get that information later if that's possible. Other areas of concern unrelated to academic, really, our East Playground, and that may already be being addressed. I know.
There's a plan in place. They're just waiting for the weather to dry out.
Okay. Our dumpster door out here, and the main thing with it is it's right at the front of the school. It's very cosmetic. Everybody sees it. The wind one day just took that one door and slung it back, and it broke into many pieces. So if you notice that, it looks awful. And it's a big old 2 dumpsters right there on the front of the school. I've talked to Mike Hart a little bit about that. But it's something that some pieces are still there and some are not, but it's more cosmetic than anything. If it was on the back or on the side, it wouldn't be as noticeable, but you can't close it up. And this is something, I don't know if we did the summer painting, but we would like to be considered for hallways and bathrooms on being painted. Sometimes we're 3 wide in our hallways and book bags and things like that. So we really could use some paint in the hallways and bathrooms. What facility improvements have been made at your school over the last 3 years? And these are the things that we could remember that have been completed here. This big divider here was fixed, so we really appreciate that. That allows us to have PE and lunch and not be interrupting each other. I know the HVAC system had some issues. That was fixed. The gym basement, I know we're in phase 1 over there for those classrooms, so we're excited about that. That's going to be needed in the future. Our outbuilding, helping with the purchase of that. Spring Valley made it, but we were using it quite a bit because all of our storage was in the basement, so we had to have somewhere to put all of that. And then when we had the issue with the HVAC, ServPro did an excellent job cleaning up everything, so we thank you for that. And then our new guy, George, I think his last name might be Mann. He is excellent, working on, he fixes everything around here. We were nervous when Tim retired, but George, the new guy, he's doing an excellent job. We have a lot of gate issues, and I think it's where the public uses our facility, a lot of times and tears up things. So our gate often has issues, so he's always quick to fix that, to keep the little ones in the playground. But I want to thank you for all of those. We appreciate your support on everything. The only other thing I'd like to share is we have a very active PTO group. I can't thank them enough for all that they do. They're going to share just a little bit on what they've done this year, and we'll close up after that.
Good evening, I'm Jessica, I'm the treasurer, and this is Sarah, she's our president. I'm just gonna talk about numbers, and then she's gonna go into how many different fundraisers we've done. So right now, our balance is about $18,000, that's the most that we've had since I've been part of the PTO. It's been a busy year for us, and it's been great. Some of the one thing, we have enough to cover Saxon Phonics, so that's great. And then we have other fundraisers planned, and we were talking with Farley today about the sign. And so the extra funds we're planning to help pay for the sign once because it's done. So that's all I have. But
I'm Sarah Hodge, I'm the president. We have done 9 different fundraisers this year. We did open house, and then we've done 2 book fairs, a fall carnival, Santa's workshop. We did cookies and cocoa with Santa, and that's what else we did. Oh, we did candy cane grams, Valentine grams. We sold hot chocolate at the, we sold shirts. We sold shirts. And we sold snacks, which we had to go by the diet regulations, but we switched all that up this year, and that's been a huge thing for the kids. They all like it. And the fundraisers we still have coming up, we're going to do, we did a VIP parking. We wrapped off our parking spot, the first parking spot in the whole entire pickup line, because the pickup line takes forever. Right. Our parents love that.
You can just drive up.
Yes, you can drive it. Just back pull up at 2:15, you can park in the front.
Wow.
Yeah. Then we have Point Fortress is going to start at the end of March. We're going to raise money. It's basically a Super Mario theme, and we're just going to raise money. And whatever class wins, we're hoping a teacher will let us pop in the face. So the teachers, I don't know if they know that or not, but we're hoping. We're going to bring the color run back this year too. That's going to be in April. And then we have Tattoo the Teacher at the end of May. And that's all we have. But then we're going to sell snacks too.
and then also we have teacher appreciation.
Yes.
And we've bought some extra things from what this total was. We had the journals. What were the journals that you were talking about? The agenda, well, it was like a behavior earlier in the year, like, well, I think it was in there.
We use those for behavior sometimes.
Okay, so, okay. But there was the behavior ones, and then we did, the tailgate, the teacher tailgate. So we try to really, do a lot with what we have to encourage also.
That's fantastic.
I think that's it. Any questions?
Very good.
That's wonderful. Thank you.
I can't say enough about our PTO.
Right.
Hardworking and volunteer many hours, and you can see the money they raise is unbelievable. I always ask them every year to set saxophonics as their goal, and they set a goal and they surpassed it. So they're unbelievable. I just want to say thank you to everybody that came tonight. I couldn't do anything that I do without this group, and they're awesome, and I appreciate each and every one of them. It's a big school, and they do a lot, and we're excited to have you all here tonight. Does anybody have any questions? That's, I've got the key to the basement if we want to go over and look at that, or if you have any questions for me on anything.
Now, we appreciate everyone's hard work. Sarita Canova Elementary School was one of our top performing schools, always in the top 3 of our performing schools. And that means it's one of the top performing schools in the state.
Right.
And so that comes with a lot of hard work and a lot of attention and a lot of focus. And that's what this place is all about. So we appreciate you.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Thank you. And these are leaders in that, so.
Right.
Yes.
thank
You can
Appreciate
tell
each one of them.
how much love and appreciation goes into this place.
Yeah.
These kids are very fortunate to have each and every one of you, so thank you all.
Thank you. Anybody that wants, can people go with us over there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So for those online, we will start the live stream when we make it over to CK Metal. It'll probably be about a half an hour or so.
Let me get a motion.
I gotta do snack bags. I gotta do snack bags.
Motion to